And hello, my friends. Rob Booker here. It's Thursday. It's time for the Trifecta War Room webinar. It's Thursday, July 23, 2015. Very happy to be with you. Thanks for being here, everybody. Glad to see your bright and shining names in the webinar. I've been thinking about something all week long, in fact, for the last 2 weeks. This is not really the webinar that I would ordinarily talk about this in. However, it just makes sense to talk about it because I'm ready to discuss it, and we're all here about improvement. Hi to April and Beth and Chris and Eric and Gary and Hugo and Judith and Mark and Pat and so many others of you that have taken the time to be here today live. If you're joining us on the recording, happy to see you on the recording. Thanks for being here. I want to talk about something that is not related to Trifecta trading. Very soon, Trifecta 6 will be released, and you can watch previous webinars to get more information about Trifecta 6. And it's easy to find. We've talked about it. I've previewed it. I'm not going to do any more work on that until the course is actually released. I want to talk about something else. I believe that, and I think we agree here, that you can give a good strategy to a disorganized and impulsive person and they will lose money. I think you can give a mediocre trading strategy to a disciplined individual that does not take outsized risk and they will do fine. And I want to talk about this other element of it, which is we talk about trading strategies and we have a great time. I also want to talk about the fact that when we become better people, we become better traders of whatever trading system that we're doing. And it stems from a set of conversations that I have watched many of you have inside the TFL 365 chat room. I've watched as many of you have tried the same system, the same trading system, the same robot. And you watch as some people do well with the robot or the trading system, and you watch as other people don't do as well. Some people talk about trading but don't trade. And some people are endlessly asking questions, and other people are doing. Some people are endlessly testing and never satisfied, and they don't get around to actually making money. And some people just can't stop themselves from taking impulsive trades. We've all been there, we've all done that. And a lot of our success and our failures are attributable to our ability to rein in or constrain our impulses and improve our ability to manage our time and our money and our thoughts and emotions effectively. Many of you that have had recent difficult experiences in trading, and this includes me as well, not necessarily recently, but last year with the Russian ruble, for example. Last year, I traded the Russian ruble and I sold it. I sold it the US dollar Russian ruble as it was rising. And I took a trifecta setup and I rolled a trade over. And then I rolled it over again. And then I rolled it over again. And then I rolled it over again. And wouldn't you know it, I ended up taking a big loss on the US dollar Russian ruble. And it eventually not only came all the way back, but came back hugely. And I got out at exactly the top. I took my loss at exactly the moment when it turned around. Now, was the system problematic? No, Trifecta didn't tell me to take too large of a trade. In fact, if I were to turn this whole conversation around and get mad at Trifecta, I could actually have said, well, if you hadn't been a dummy, Rob, you would have taken one trade and then rolled it over a couple of times at the most, and you would have been better off. Managing my emotions and managing my impulses in taking additional trades was the key. The key was not to change my trading methodology or change the way that I got into a trade or start to believe in some crazy, wild belief system that I somehow could find a trading system that wouldn't take a loss or would not require the skills necessary to get out of a bad trade. And the last thing that I'll say about it is this. We can all pick a trading strategy that doesn't roll over trades, like Trifecta. Trend trading doesn't roll over trades. But you can't promise yourself or tell anybody else that someday in the future you won't find yourself in trouble anyway. We're all going to get into trouble eventually. Managing our emotions, managing our time, managing our expectations, being healthier as people, more clear minded, rational individuals, all of those things play a part in how effectively we deal with these trades. Last September, when I fought the Russian ruble and I lost, I fought the ruble and the ruble won. What was the main problem? The main problem was I traded impulsively too quickly. I got too worried about the trade and I gave up at the last minute when I should have had a bunch of margin left in order to take a trade in the correct direction. And that is what I want to talk about today. It's the Trifecta War Room, and we're all trying to become better traders and primarily talk about Trifecta. But today, could we talk about becoming better people for a few minutes? In the next 21 minutes, could we have a conversation about a 1-year project? Maybe it won't last a year, but would you mind if we had a conversation about becoming better people and improving ourselves? I'd like to talk about that for some time today. I hope it's interesting to you because I'm fascinated by this topic and very interested in self-improvement. But I'm not just interested in self-improvement. I'm not interested in just positive thinking or affirmations, which are a huge part of my life. I haven't even done my affirmations for 2 weeks. It's not enough to be a positive thinker. We also have to implement stuff. We have to be dependable and reliable. We've got to toughen up a bit. We've got to become emotionally more stable, mentally more clear, more rational individuals that make decisions in an effective manner as opposed to an impulsive manner. All of those things are going to make a big difference in our trading, in our money making, in our relationships, and whatever else. And here I am today to talk about the 1-year Hack Yourself project. Now, I'm just in the early stages of talking to Scott Welsh about relaunching the podcast that we do. And we did the Rise and Shine podcast for quite some time. But Scott and I have begun to consider doing a new podcast called The Rob and Scott Show. Now, I'm not here to promote The Rob and Scott Show. It doesn't cost any money. But Scott Welsh and I are considering doing a podcast which covers some of these topics. I'll host the show, and some of you will even be guests on the show occasionally. And Scott's my co-host. He won't be on every episode necessarily, but it's dedicated to this idea that we need to become better people. And what better group of people to talk to about this than you? Idea number one, what if over the next 52 weeks, and I can't commit to 52 weeks, I could commit to 90 days, but what if over the next 90 days or 52 weeks, we hacked diet, health, relationships, even some trading, money management, debt, and more? Let me give you an idea of what I'm talking about. I'm talking about shortcuts, fast shortcut improvements that get you started on the road in case you're not going to make a giant change in your life, which is very difficult. We would just do once every 2 weeks, we would do a small dietary change, like double the number of green vegetables in our diet, for example. Okay, so that's not a massive change, but just over a 2-week period of time, we would do something like that. And then we would call that the 2-week green vegetable experiment. And then you could take that one off the shelf again anytime you wanted, and you could do that experiment again, and you could re-listen to that episode and that blog post that came from it. What if on the subject of health, we didn't say, okay, for the next 10 years, you're going to be an athlete or you're going to work out every day? What if we just said for the next 2 weeks, we're going to count our steps with our phones, and we're going to double the number of steps we take, and we're not going to sit down at our desk for 2 weeks. And then we're going to talk about the results that came from that, or something along those lines. What about in relationships? It has nothing to do with trading necessarily, but if you've ever been in an argument with a loved one and then tried to take some trades, you know that they're connected. I know Jason knows what I'm talking about. I know Donnie knows what I'm talking about. Relationships. What if we said over the next 2 weeks, we're not going to make big changes in our relationships. We're not going to make giant adjustments or try to whatever. But maybe over the next 2 weeks, we're going to focus on one thing. We're going to hack listening and communication. Or we're going to talk about better sex, or we're going to talk about meeting people, like conversations with complete strangers. And we're going to hack that. And then anytime you want to go back to that topic, if it doesn't apply to you, then you could go back to it later, pull it off the shelf. You could get the book, and then you could read the book, watch the blah, 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 whatever. Trading. Many of you do better when you trade robotically, and many of you do better when you intervene only rarely in trades that go wrong. And we could hack that. What about money management, personal money management? What about debt? What about scheduling out a paying off of debt? Or what about speed reading? What about learning to speed read? I learned to speed read in college. What about speed reading? What about hacking that? What about trying out meal replacement stuff or whatever? Like all kinds of different things, all with the idea that we seek to become better people, better to ourselves, better to our loved ones, better to our trading accounts. Not trying to get you into heaven. There's already people that can help you with that. Trying to get you to heaven on earth. Like, what if we together attempted to make the world we live in a better place for ourselves first, so we can take care of our loved ones, and then because we've taken care of ourselves and our loved ones, we're a more stable, healthy, balanced individual that can take care of our trading accounts. I don't know if that's interesting to you. It certainly is interesting to me. We would focus on areas of life that we want to hack or make huge, vast, shortcut improvements that are not even necessarily intended to last. Not even intended that you have to continue those improvements. You wouldn't even have to, once you make the improvement, continue it on. It would be something that would be a benefit to you if you just did it for 2 weeks and then maybe you couldn't do it again. So we're not talking about, trying to make long-term changes that we don't want to make. We all know that one way to reduce your trade size is to increase your account size, but not increase your trade size. We all know that one way to take less risk in our account is to grow our trading account, but not increase the size of our trades. Well, that goes for a lot of other things. One way to increase our intelligence is to cut out garbage into our mind and include small doses of super positive stuff. So it's another hack. That's a hack. That's like the trade size hack that we did. We could do with intelligence. We could do a 2-week program where every day we seek to, our one thing that we're focusing on is cutting out garbage into our brain and including small doses of super positive stuff. We could do something like that, for example. So here's what I want to ask for. What I'm asking for right now, today, are your ideas. I'm going to fill some of these in. Okay, so how to speed read, how to increase reading speed by 50% or more. I think that's a great one. How to improve listening with a partner. How to increase energy by 50%, our personal energy by 50%. How to increase exercise without changing much. So stand at our desks and walk around, for example. We're not going to buy equipment or do anything fancy or whatever else. These are all things. One thing we could hack is how to become great at running a robot. What if we hacked that? What if we hacked the steps to do that, and for 2 weeks we became expert robot traders? Yeah, what if we tried food supplements? What if we supplemented our diet to feel better and be healthier? What if we did that? That would be a completely awesome type of a thing. What if we, whoops, I just erased that. I liked that one. What, hack affirmations. Do a whole 2-week experiment on dramatically improving the way that we do affirmations. or positive self-talk or whatever. Some of you don't think that matters. Um, and you don't have to do that one. You could do something else. I know that's kind of touchy-feely or whatever. Um, I'd love to do a couple of them on diet. I'd love to do how to get less sleep but feel better, how to get more sleep. We could do both of those things, how to sleep better, and then we could do one on how to sleep less. That would be awesome. We could hack news trading. We could literally hack the idea of news trading, and we could get to the bottom of what it takes to be a really great news trader with Trifecta. That might take us more than 2 weeks, but we would come to you with a solution or with a whatever, and then we would implement it together, and we would generate ideas, and we would use a webinar or a podcast or Slack, a room on Slack, and we could talk about some of this stuff. Those are all some things that have been on my mind for a while. And like I said, they don't have anything to do with trading. They don't have anything to do with trading necessarily. Some of them do. But I like the idea that all of us here in let's just say it's a year. But what if in a year you increased your reading speed by 50%, you became an expert listener with your partner, or you got a partner? How to get a partner. I could probably use that. How to get a partner. How to increase your personal energy by 50%. I think I'm pretty qualified to talk to you about that. How to increase exercise without changing your lifestyle dramatically. How to become, what if you got great at running a robot that made 1% a week? What if you experimented with food supplements in order to blank? We don't know what that is, but it would have to have a purpose. Can't just be experiment with food supplements. How to hack affirmations. What if we experimented with hacking not getting sick? What if we looked at all the techniques that are out there for not getting sick? I know somebody that I'm friends with them on Facebook, and they get sick once every 45 days. They come down with a sinus infection, a bronchial infection, strep throat, or whatever. And this person happens to be a total slob. It's no surprise. How to hack cleaning up and simplifying, decluttering. What about affirmations? Just totally hack affirmations, and for 2 weeks just be rock solid affirmationers. Other stuff with diet, how to get less sleep, how to get more sleep, news trading. Yeah, and I love the idea that that one of the first things, or one of the early things, is hack change. The idea that it's very difficult to sustain a change in behavior. That would be interesting. Hack change, hack impulsivity. That'd be interesting. Talk about becoming less impulsive or more impulsive. Risk taking. Hack emotional control. You're the type of person that gets angry, worried, nervous, euphoric. We could do that. It's a good list. How about getting whiners to quit whining? Yeah, we're all whiners. April, you too. Me and you are both, April. We'd like to say we're not. But we all do it, right? We could hack I love this, April. This is a great idea. Hack whining, complaining. That is a great idea. You are so awesome. That is so awesome. Trade using less screen time. Excellent. I love April. April, you're so awesome. That is so fantastic. Let's see here. Best place or circumstance to be ourselves. Interesting. Hack. Oh, this is a good one. Personal authenticity. Hack honesty. That would be an awesome one. Hack honesty, like radical honesty for a while, like 2 weeks where you just told everybody exactly what you were thinking. That would be awesome. And it would just be an experiment. honesty, courage. You could even hack repentance. You could hack repentance. It's a religious word, but you could hack repentance. You could hack asking forgiveness, how to appropriately approach someone to make something right. And we could go to people in a 2-week period of time and make a lot of things right that maybe weren't right. And that that could be, I don't even spell repentance correctly. Apparently I can't even spell it. Does that have an A at the end? Yeah. Honesty, awareness. Oh, mindfulness and awareness. Hack mindfulness, awareness. What a beautiful idea, Martin. You could hack hacking. Hack. You could do that. You could talk about that's a great idea. So that's a pretty great list of ideas. I'm super excited about this. Does anybody have any other ones they'd like to share? Patrick makes a good joke. If you hack the honesty thing, then we'll need to find a new job, a new partner, and so forth. Yeah. Okay. I like it. I know I like it. You know I like it because I brought it up today, but I brought it up for you. This is about us doing better in general, doing better together, being better people. And I want you to know that I care about you. And it matters to me how well we do, and it matters to me how much we're improving and how well we are doing it. Not just improving our trading. It's not just all about that. And appreciate you being a part of this. Does anybody have any creativity? What a great one. Creativity. What a great suggestion. Wow, what a great one. That's a really cool one. Um, yeah, Patrick, you're so wonderful. Thank you. And then we would turn each one of these into a mini lesson and a podcast and a course. And I'll just, anybody who's here today in the webinar, I'll get you a link to where we'll start all this. But wow, these would all be just fantastic little mini courses in each of these areas. What a lot of fun this could be. And every 2 weeks we would try something new and talk about it and discuss it with each other. And I think I think we'll all become better traders as that happens. I think there's no way that you get more honest and become a worse trader or whatever. Presence. Whether in relationships trading, we tend to be way too multitasking. Single-minded, mindfulness, awareness, focus. Great suggestion, Mike. Mike Jones. That's a really wonderful suggestion. Love that. Okay, I'm going to save this screenshot. And there it is. I like it. I like it a lot. This is a lot of fun. I think we should put together a schedule here and get this show on the road. And there are a lot of you that have had experiences with these kinds of things that we could talk to and interview and discuss it with. I love this idea. Thank you, everyone. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all of you so much. And this has been the Trifecta War Room webinar for Thursday, July 23rd. Kind of out of the ordinary, but we did a good job. I'll talk to you soon.